What a great little keyboard. It really is. I have actually paired up with a Windows tablet. This is the Dragon Touch i8. It runs Windows 8.1, and I paired it up and set it to the Windows. It actually has Android, Windows, and Apple OS right here that you can switch between them. I have it set to Windows, so that, of course, when I hit the FN key, that gives me the F key functionality. If it's set to Android, it will use these Android shortcuts at the top instead, as well as, of course, I have a Win button here, which will take me to the Windows home screen. But if it's set as an Android, it will act as a backspace key. And, of course, whatever the Apple OS little thingamajiggers do, will have you. So there is that. It's nicely spaced. This is a Gmail, and I use this as my standard simply because this is one of those few keyboards, mobile keyboards, that I found that actually offer a standard layout. Not standard size, but standard layout with full F key at the top, the pause, break, print screen, insert, delete, all those little fluffy keys that you normally get cut out on mobile keys. And this EC technology comes pretty close. It does get away with some of the fluff, like the pause, break, print screen, insert, and it combines the delete and the backspace, which always made sense to me, you know. And here's something I definitely appreciate. Well, first, the shift key on this one, I've always had trouble with the Gmail just because the shift key is kind of small. And on most mobile keys, the shift key is kind of small on the right-hand side. The size difference between this one and others, it must be small. It is just slightly bigger, but it's big enough to make a difference that I actually don't have a problem hitting it with my pinky. This one I do. I keep hitting the enter key or the arrow key next to it. I just have a hard time aiming for that shift key on this Gmail. Another thing is the tab key on this is much smaller. Now, for technical writing, professional writing, that sort of thing, yes, we need the tab key for indentations, that sort of thing. But for online typing, honestly, I don't use indentations in my written reviews or in my email communications. It's, you just start typing. That's just the way the online writing is. You don't have tab indentation. So they actually made that smaller. That gives you extra room for all this here. And the one key I do not mind having small, they made small, the caps lock key. Even your smallest mobile keyboards will make the caps lock big. For me, man, I can't tell you. On this one, I'm always going for that shift key, hitting the caps lock instead. Constantly hitting that caps lock because it's bigger and it's easier to hit. I don't like caps locks. So in my case, it's a unlooked for but bonus having that caps lock key actually smaller. Shift key is of good standard size, and the tactile response is great. That's the number one thing I look for in any keyboard, is that satisfying, subtle, tactile feel of pushing the button down, getting that little click as you type along. A good response. Quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. And, since it's paired up as Windows, I get all my favorite shortcuts. Control A, Control X for cutting, Control V for pasting, Control C for copying, that sort of thing. It's a great little keyboard. I love it. Now, there is one thing. Well, first, pairing. The instructions aren't very clear, and frankly, mine were wrong. It said to hit Control and FN on the keyboard to pair, enter into pairing mode. No, I hit FN and the C key, which is the Bluetooth key. FN, Bluetooth. And what happens is that turns blue. Keep holding it down. It will turn blue, then it will turn off. Once it turns off, let go. And then this should start blinking blue. In other words, in pairing mode. So hold it down. Should turn blue like that. Once I let go, now it's blinking. That's how you pair. The instructions are not only vague, but they're also outright wrong with what keys. It may be an older model. So now it's in pairing mode. And then Once that's done, I'm already paired it off with my keyboard. Okay. Scan it on your device, and then pair it. You're good to go. Like I said, I was already paired with my tablet, so I just turned it off instead of pairing it again. Now, turning it off or turning it on. Well, first, it has a sleep mode. Leave it for 15 minutes. It automatically turns off. Just long press any key to wake it back up, or to turn it off, just close it up, and it turns off just like that. And, open it back up. The little green light there flashes on. As soon as it flashes off, there we go. We're ready to go. Just like that. Is that quick? Whoops, see, I hit that caps lock. I'm glad I was small. The little green light there does turn on when you have caps lock on as a indicator. See that? Alright. The other thing, very small. That's why actually I like this even better than this full-sized one. It's very small, while still basically it's the same key width as this, just folds up about half the size. But, and this is another probably important caveat, it doesn't have an impact with me, but you probably need to consider it. The body is metal and it's magnetized. That's how it keeps itself closed, as well as keeping itself open when folded out. So the body is magnetized. So, and it's not a weak magnet either. That's how I discovered it was magnetized. I didn't even realize it until I had placed this Gmile. This Gmile actually has a metal body. So I was like, oh, what's going on there? That's when I realized it was magnetized. And the only real impact that has is, well, where do you carry things like credit cards? Yeah, so, this is something you do not want sitting up against your wallet or in your purse next to your credit cards. So that is a definite consideration. It doesn't have an impact on me, but it is definitely important to highlight. Other than that, though, oh man, yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, you guys have yourself a great one.